Here we go, we finally got a new massive fucking Pendulum Dragon right now. Brave Eyes Pendulum Dragon has finally been revealed to us. Really surprised, like I think a lot of people was like actually coming from this episode of Arc 5, maybe that we might have seen a new like kind of like Synchro Dragon. I think like that was the kind of one that everyone was going for, but no, fusions are definitely a big thing coming up to like, this makes this what, like the third like fusion dragon that we've got out of them so far. We've got Rune Eyes, we've got Beast Eyes, and now Brave Eyes Pendulum Dragon, making it the third one out of the Dragon Pendulum Fusion list. A lot of us are pretty excited on that, so for a big part of it, I'm going to be focusing mainly on the Brave Eye. It's like sort of news first about it, then I'm going to be talking about the episode itself. So it is a 3,000 attack point monster with 2,000 defense points, and it was fused by having one of the pendulum monsters. I think it was like a level 5 swordsman thing, I believe it was. So I'm kind of curious like what it's going to be, like its actual thing is going to be made of. Like, is it going to need a certain monster to like require it? Obviously it's going to need Odd Eyes as the material from it, but is it going to be the only way you can like fusion summon this dragon is with an entomate? So far that I haven't seen any too much like information like coming out on this dragon at all, but we do know if this card is special summoned, the attack of all other monsters on the field becomes 0 until the end phase, and that this card gets attack points, 100 of them, for each monster whose like attack was reduced by 0 from this effect. If this card attacks an opponent's monster, however, it negates any effect that would prevent the monster from being destroyed by battle. So anything that would stop it, like, you know, like, oh, say like if it was like, oh yeah, but my card here makes sure that it isn't destroyed by battle. So let's say it had like sort of like a gladiator, it's like gladiator beast had like this continuous spell, like it has the shield, and then it also had the battle maniac that would normally stop them from being destroyed by battle, so you can activate their effect and return them. This will be the certain thing where it'll be like, no, Brave Eyes stops that, fuck you anyway, take 3,000 points of damage. Boom. Like, it was a goddamn impressive monster. Such a shame it got owned so easily. It was just like, I had to take my trap card on my guy, and then there, boom, there you go, Brave Eyes completely gone. Like, whilst this was going on, like, with the whole giant duel between Yuya and, like, what we got with Aster as well, like, dueling each other, I was laughing my ass off, like, throughout this entire duel, because whilst that was happening, Kaito decided to protect all the Lancers, and then there's just this moment where you just see, oh, go my 5 galaxy eyes. Like, what? You have 5 galaxy eyes on the field? Pretty sure that's near impossible. Like, since considering that the actual rules only allow you to have 3 other monsters. I'm pretty, like, to be fair though, it's the anime, so fuck it, they can do what they do, but then, you know, people could say, well, actually, he used a spell card to, like, copy them, and he's like, you know what, he could use, like, the other, like, so, like, Cypher Dragon's, like, effect to copy those ones to make he had 5 of them, so you could say that, you could be like, that could be the reason what could do it, but even still as dumb as fire. Like, it's just like, I have 5 of these fucking ace monsters on the field, and I just obliterate, not just 1, not 2, and not 3, not 4, not 5, an army of like, there must have been like a dozen of them. There must have been about 20, 30 of these guys that just Kaio on his own just took, it's like, I'm sorry, you guys are Obelisk Blue. How fucking pathetic that is that? Like, especially when we just had an episode literally like last week where I was kind of like going off and saying it was pretty much a really kind of crappy episode for the most part, where it was Yuya and like fucking Kurosaki going against like 4 like those elite guys, and yet these guys get fucking obliterated, like 30 of them, by like 5 dragons. Like, how monumentally crap are you if you have 29 other dudes backing you up? I mean, for the most part, for what we got the Aster Phoenix fight for, it's going to be obviously a second part from what we've seen of it. Like, I was enjoying, like, we were seeing a lot more of, like brand new cards from Yuya. We're seeing a lot more, like, Entimates out there. And, like, you know, like, he was still kind of using the same, like, abilities, like, as we originally saw from, like, Aster. Like, he was using a lot more of that Dynamite guy. But we did, like I said, there was a new card from Yuya. Like, obviously, apart from the Brave Eyes, we did see the Dagger Man. Like, he was, like, he was 2,000 attack points, and I believe he had, like, I believe it was, like, a level 5 he was. So he was, like, coming out there, trying to like immediately end the duel immediately, but it was like, no, I'm going to bring out my thing. And then he had like another like Destiny hero, which negated the actual damage that he was going to be taking from, like, you know, the Dynamite guy. So, you know, he did a very clever thing doing that, which is, like, it's something you can use and all that to end a duel. If you're, like, Dynamite guy is, like, a very weird card, where it's, like, if your opponent has something that can really end you, but he's got a low enough amount of, like, life points, I feel like Dynamite guy is, like, a card that is gonna be used, like, probably in the TCG. I feel like, this is a new way of kind of dealing with, like, instead of, like, having, like, you know, Battle Fader in your hand, it's like, no, I feel like a lot more people, like, especially in store decks or any other kind of deck, like, they need new additions to card. I feel like, like the Destiny Hero Dynamite guy, I feel like this is going to be a way for people to go around this, and it's like, oh, we're just going to have more of these cards, so it's like, oh, I can get Exodia, or, oh, I can just go and do this, and it's like, you know, I can fucking, like, kill my opponent like that if he only has, like, 500 life points left. Alright, I've got Dynamite guy, you can't attack me like that. It's like, that's just simply how it's done. Like, so the only way you can really beat that card is, like, you've got to get rid of it from your opponent's hand at that point, or you've got a way to increase your life point. Honestly, like I said, like, I feel like most of the time, like, throughout the past couple of episodes, it's been me gushing about Grace and Gloria, but it's just like, especially on the Grey side, just this one, it's like, wow, you just won me more over on her, when she's just like, hey, maybe we should help the lads just go and take out, like, Gloria's like, hey, we should do that. Grace is just, no, I want to watch the duel, I want to see, like, the Generally Rude Union. It's like, no, I'd rather do this shit, sis, and all that, fuck those guys, I'd rather watch this fight, and it's just like, just honest from the heart. I was just like, I just heard voice acting, she was just like loving it. She's like, yeah, loving it like that. I was like, oh, I love you. It's like, you definitely waifu like that. Like, please tell me you become a good guy later on, because that, like, they've definitely got that personality where it's like, fuck it. It's like, you know, these guys coming over, like, if Akabaneri like comes over and say, hey, we're getting more jewels tonight, come to our side. Fuck it, like, that's fine. I don't care. Give them a bullshit reason for them to join, because, like, they seem too, like, cooler characters just to, like, continuously stay on the fusion side. But, like, with a little bit of the flashback, like, really how, like, both, like, Aster and, like, Saka, like, Yuya's father met, like with Yusho, like, that is, like, definitely the way how they met was just, like, I was expecting it to be a lot more like, oh, I was originally with these guys, but instead it was just like, no, Aster just lost a duel to him once, and then he kind of went a bit nuts, and it was like, oh, there are other ways to dueling, and he was already fucked up at this point. Like, he already was on, like, you know, a limping, you know, he already had his stick out, like, so I was thinking, like, oh no, it's like I thought there's gonna be a lot more to it, the story, than just like, oh, he tried to teach me a different way of dueling, and you know, this is what happened. So honestly, yeah, there wasn't too much of it. Like, I was expecting a little bit more of the fleshed out thing towards him, and it seems like his hatred really, it just seems like a little silly thing at the end of the day. I mean, the fucking card games at the end of the game, but still, it's like, you know, this is a world where, like, we're fighting in an entire dimension that was destroyed by Ancient Gear Golem cards, so it's like, you know, you can think about it in that way throughout there, but it's just like, overall, I think this is a vast improvement, because, like I said, we didn't get to focus on the scrubs, like, in this episode. It's like, I feel like this one intensified the reason of, like, why did next week have to happen so much? Like, you know, like, if this episode was going to happen where, like, Kaito just obliterated, like, this blues just so fucking easily, yeah, like, we had to have an entire last week showing off the card. Like, I felt like we could have had ages ago, like, it felt like it was just showing off that one really powerful, like, you know, Ancient Gear card that we hadn't seen yet, that's been, like, highly prominent in the opening, and then also, well, in the promos and stuff like that. So it's like, oh, that's, like, kind of it, but overall, I think it's a lot better of the duel. Like, from what I said, I still think there should be a little bit of improvement, because we haven't, like, I feel like this duel is either going to end off in a duel some way, or it's going to end off, like, maybe like Yuya winning and he's going to retreat again, and then he's going to need that, like, second duel to really kind of finalize it out of this, like, version, since, like, the first one was a draw. This one could either go either way and all that, unless he has, like, another Dynamite guy in his hand. I don't know if they're going to do the same thing. We'll have to wait and see and all that, but regardless of what, highlights, I mean, I really like the new, like, Odd Eyes card. I really like Brave Dragon. I think that's a really cool looking fucking design. I think it's got a really interesting effect. Really curious to see what its fusion requirement is, if it's just going to be an Entame, or if it's a Warrior, or what's it going to be, because I believe, like, when it came to, like, with Beast Eyes, it's a Beast Monster. When it came to Rune Eyes, I believe it was a Spellcaster, so if maybe you're a Brave Eyes, it's going to take a Warrior type now. That's probably going to be the difference from it. So that's like kind of cool. There's like, there's going to be like Odd Eyes for every kind of different, like, monster and all that. So you're like a Fiend Eye, like, you know, I hope they don't go too crazy, but this is now where I'm like, I'd like to see a little bit more on the variety of their eyes. I'd like to see a little bit more, like, Synchros. I'd like to see, like, XDs, and, you know, everything. But other than that, I'll give it a 7.5. I think it was a good start. But let me know what you guys think in the episode. But that's all from me. Thank you much for watching as always. And I'll see you guys next time.